Learning how to use Photoshop is not like you preparing for a biology test. How to use Photoshop? How can someone learn how to use Photoshop? The only way to learn Photoshop is by you using it. You don't even need to pay anybody to learn how to use Photoshop. All you just have to do is to just subscribe to this channel and give the video a thumbs up, and that's all. You're already good at Photoshop. Okay, I'm just joking. No, like seriously, subscribe to this channel and give the video a thumbs up. I'm dead serious. So here we go. How to use Photoshop for Nigeria by Nigeria in Nigeria. So before we start, guys, I need you guys to do two things for me. Just two things. I promise it won't be more than that. Two things. So number one, I need you guys to believe you can understand. That is the first thing. You have to believe. You have to be confident, because the part of learning how to use Photoshop is like a really frustrating part. So this might not be the only video you need to watch, but you just have to have that belief that you can do it on your own. And secondly, I want you guys to follow along with this tutorial, and if need be, you can rewind the video as much as possible. You can slow it down, but remember what I said. Don't skip, do not give up. I'm also going to leave in the tutorial file in the description below, so if you want to follow along, which you need to, please go and check the description box and download the tutorial file so we can stay on track together. So without no further ado, let's get into Photoshop. So our first lesson here, guys, is remove a subject from the background. So what you just have to do is just to go over it tutorial file folder, and then just drag and drop it into Photoshop. Then holding down my Alt and my scrolling wheel, I use to zoom in, or better say you can use your Control plus to zoom in, and your Control minus to zoom out. Then I hold my space to just move the picture around. And see that when I hold down my space, it's going to change to this hand icon, so I can use it to like move picture around. So all I want to do is go over to my layers panel, double click on this padlock, and then going to unlock that layer. Then I come over here to my magnetic lasso tool, and now I get that just by clicking on it and holding it down, they're going to give me other options. So magnetic lasso tool, and then I just zoom in, and then all you have to do is just to click, and Photoshop will automatically try and find the edge of that picture. So all you just have to do is just to click and drag around the subject and drag. Just click and drag. So under my space, move this. Space, move this. And see Photoshop will find it hard to detect the edge of this picture because of she's wearing yellow and the background is yellow. So most of what is selecting to, they work with color, detecting colors. Space. Just hover your mouse around the edge of the picture. Space to move. I can see I don't want to select this cup, so all I'll do here is just come over here, click, then just take this up, click, then take it by side, click, 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 then I just continue scrolling, click, put on my space bar, just move this up. Now I want it to stop here, so I click, then I take it up, click, then just continue moving around the edge, click, just continue moving around the edge, come over here, click, 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 just move around the edge, click, come over here, click, and just move around the edge. Now you just have to just move your mouse around the edge of the picture, and Photoshop will just do the rest for you. And then you can see that when we come back here to the starting point, this icon is going to show us like a circle beside it, and you guys can see the circle. So that is telling us to close our selection. So just as this, so whenever we see the circle, just click. Automatically it's going to close up that selection. and you can see it created like an ant moving around the edge of the picture. That is just called a selection. So what we can do here is either two things. Either we invert the selection and delete the background, or we create a clipping mask. So how do we invert? Just by you clicking on Ctrl Shift I, or better still, come over to your select, then inverse. And see it, Shift Ctrl I. So click on it. I'm going to select the background except her that we create that selection for. And then what we have to do is just to click on and delete on our keyboard. Delete. And then to deselect, Ctrl D. What we can do here is to just come over here to our adjustment layer, create a solid color. Then just give this red. And then I just move this layer below her. And you can see we've successfully removed a picture from his or her background. Okay guys, in this particular section I'm going to be showing you guys how to remove blemishes from your photo. So all you guys have to do is just to follow along this tutorial. So let's just go to our tutorial folder and then just taking this picture and moving to Photoshop. Okay, so as you can see in this particular photo there are some spots on our face that makes her look not perfect. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to like manipulate how to manipulate and remove all this spot on Photoshop. So the first thing we have to do here now is just to come over here to our layers and just double click to unlock this particular photo. And then we just move over here, just follow along like I said earlier, where we see our spots healing brush tool. So the shortcut is J. Then we'll just click on it. Then you can come over here to increase the size of our brush or to reduce it. Then just zoom in the way I thought you guys had to zoom in, and then just click on the spot. Just a click, not drag, just click, 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 click. That is just what you have to do. Click, 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 and then zoom out and see the okay. And still why to click, click, putting now our space to move, click, 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 click. And if you look over here, there is no spot, but like it's not as perfect as we want it to be. What we can do over here is to come over here to our spotting brush to click and hold. Then you can make use of our patch tool. So we'll just select it. Then we'll just select the area we want to replace. So I'm not satisfied with this particular area, so I'm just going to select it. And then just move it to the exact place we want to replace that particular section with. And then Ctrl D to deselect. So you can see that now it's looking more better. So then just zoom in, make a selection of this area on my patch tool, and just move. Ctrl D. Okay, this is even looking more better than even our spot healing brush tool. Selection, move it to the area I want to replace. Ctrl D to deselect. Okay, this is kind of more better. Then just zoom in and continue using this patch tool. So replace. Okay. Replace. Ctrl D. Okay. So this spot here.
Okay, let me just take care of this side. Please Ctrl D, zoom in this last section. Ctrl D, select that last section too. Ctrl D. I see our face now is even looking more better now. So let me just zoom in and continue using my patch tool to make it look more okay. So let's just zoom in, and this are no section here. Ctrl D. Come over to this section here. Select, replace. Come back here, select, replace. Ctrl D. Come over here, select, replace. Ctrl D. So guys, there you have it guys. Let's take a look at the before and after. So look at the way our photo looks like before, and then look at it after. So that is it guys, how to remove blemishes from your photo. Okay guys, in this particular section I'm going to show you guys how to remove an unwanted object in your photo. So let me just go ahead to our tutorial file and drag this picture into our Photoshop. And then the first thing I need you guys to do is to unlock the layer by double clicking on the padlock. Then you select it, then you confirm it. Then all you have to do is just to drag this particular layer here over here. Or better still, just follow this shortcut Ctrl J to make a duplicate of this particular photo. And then on this one above here, I'm going to go over to our last tool and just what I want to do is I want to remove all these people here behind the girl. So I'll do is just create a selection, just drag around. So I've created a selection. All I'll do here is now I'll go to my edit. Now I'll scroll down to where I have fill. Then your option, make sure it's on use. Your option here, make sure it's on content aware, while your blending mode normal, and then just click on OK. Ctrl D. You can see that I know perfectly remove this particular section, so I'll just create it under selection again here. Come over to my edit, fill, content aware, and down. And now you can see it has perfectly removed that particular person in the background. So I'll do the same thing here. So I'll just create a selection here. Try as much as possible to be precise. I come over to my edit, then fill, make sure I'm on content aware, then confirm it. Ctrl D. You can see guys, you know perfectly remove this particular section. So what I'll do now, I'm going to try and repeat that particular step again to see if Photoshop will be able to correct its mistake. So select it, come over here, fill. Okay, you can see did a better job. So come over to this particular section, so try and do the same thing. Edit, fill, fill. Let's try it again. Okay, seems Photoshop is finding it hard to correct this particular section. Well, I'm going to scroll here to my patch tool that we made use of previously, and then I'm going to use my patch tool to create a selection again. It's my patch tool. Then I'm going to just the same principle we make use of previously, move it to where I want to replace it. Ctrl D. Let's zoom out. So let me just do a little bit of adjustment to this particular section here. It's my patch tool. Then move it to this particular section to replace that place with. So there you have it, guys. Before, after, before, after, before, after. We've successfully removed a disturbing picture from our background. Okay guys, in this particular section I'm going to show you guys how to easily remove an image from the background and how to give it outline. So all we have to do is come over to tutorial folder and then just move this picture into Photoshop. So when it comes to removing a subject from its background, you have to make sure that that subject is like perfectly different from the background. Like this case now we have here, you can see that this is just a black man on a pink background. You can see he's wearing a t-shirt, he's wearing a black t-shirt, and his skin color is like totally different from the background. So it's us easily removing the background. It will be very easy. So first thing we need to do is to just unlock this layer here by double clicking on the layer padlock and then just confirm it. And I really like us to just duplicate this layer by making use of the shortcut Ctrl J. So create a duplicate and let's just turn off this one below, turn off the visibility. And then what we have to do is to come over here to our toolbar where we see quick selection. So just select it and then we just need to click and drag like as if you are painting or something. So just click and drag, and I see that automatically Photoshop create a perfect selection of this area. So to do the same thing to the second side, our advice will hold down our shift on our keyboard and then same process, click and drag. And now Photoshop have automatically selected the pink background. So what we'll do here now is to just press our delete on our keyboard and then Ctrl D to deselect. So now we've removed the pink background. So the next thing I want you also to do here is come over here to this adjustment layer, click on it, then we'll go to the first option, which is solid color. What I want to do is also give it a new background. So I'm just going to give it like this green, confirm it. Now just move it below the mask layer. As you can see now we have him on the green background. So what I'll do here is to come over to the mask layer, this particular layer here, right click, blending option, and then scroll down to where we have stroke and just click on it. And now come over to our color and give it white. And your position, make sure your position is like outside for the best results. And then we can just increase the size a little bit of our stroke. And that is it, guys, how to quickly remove an object from its background, how to give it outline. Okay guys, in this particular section I'm going to show you guys how to easily manipulate documents on Photoshop. So for start, let's come over to tutorial folder and then drag this particular picture into Photoshop. So I'm just going to show you guys, like for this particular tutorial, also in order not to elongate this tutorial, I'm just going to be performing just one example, and then this particular method you can use it for whatever kind of design you want to work on also. So let's see over here now the name. As you can see, the name is given name William. So now I want to like show you guys how I'm going to change this from William to my own name. So to do that, we come over here to our layer, then we just unlock this as usual, then Ctrl J to duplicate. Then we have to do is to come over to our patch tool, then select, then I just zoom in, and then I just create a selection of the particular area and then just copy it to somewhere I want. Okay, then Ctrl D, same thing to this A. Okay, then for the William, just select the whole wheel. So Let's zoom out. Then Ctrl D. So now I've perfectly removed the name. So what's now left for me is to obviously put in my own name. So come write my text too. Can be like Henry. Then I confirm it. Come back here to my move tool. Now I have to do is to just resize it. It's like fit. So Ctrl T to transform any particular object on any particular this layer you're on. That is like to make it bigger, the content of that layer bigger or smaller. So Ctrl T or free transform. It's called free transform. So I can choose to make this like bigger. Only down my shift key on my keyboard. Just keep that proportion. So it does not skew out like this. Without my shift, you can see the way the text is when it comes to resizing it. When I hold down my shift, it's going to keep that form. So with this, I can like do this. So I still feel like my first task, okay, apply. Make sure you always apply it here. So I want to still edit this, so make it capital letter. Then you apply it here. You apply that change. So it's I click on this check mark here. So for understanding purposes, I'm going to rename all these layers so we can understand better. So this bottom layer here is our original, while this top layer here is duplicate fake. So now I'm going to turn off this my duplicate layer and then just zoom in. So I've turned off the visibility of our duplicate layer, so it's only showing the original, which is at the bottom. So I want to just come over here to my text. I want to make sure my text is fitting the one that's previously there. So I still feel I need to resize it. So Ctrl T, so I free transform. Then I hold my shift and I just decrease it diagonally. Okay, I guess this is much better. So I can turn on my duplicate layer back. And that is it, guys. How to easily manipulate documents on Photoshop. So I guess this is not aligned with the other text. So what I can do here is just Ctrl T and then I just use my arrow key on my keyboard to like move this back. And mind you guys, if you notice that the color of your text is not looking the same thing as the remaining text, all you have to do is just come over here to your Windows, your characters panel is going to open up. You click on character and then you come over here to your color, you select it and then you just sample the color from the text around that particular area and then you confirm it. And now I guess it's looking more better. You can still go a step forward as to like reducing the opacity, so it won't be as bright, or it won't be brighter than the text around it. So I just reduce the opacity to like 97%. And there we go, guys. How to manipulate document on Photoshop. Okay guys, in this particular section I'm going to be explaining the whole interface of Photoshop. So without no further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so first thing first, I want you guys to come over here where we have our essential and make sure you could click on reset essential. This is just to make sure we're on the same page, so you don't be like, where is this guy at? Like, I'm not seeing what he's saying. Like, bro. Okay. So by the way, if you guys have not noticed, I'm using Photoshop CS6. So like if you are making use of an earlier version CC 2019, 2021, like if you are able to understand everything we've gone through during this course or short Photoshop tutorial, then you can easily just like apply the same principle to your earlier version. Like they literally work hand in hand, the same function, everything, but just like you just have more tools and let's say more advanced tool per se. So over here, these are a list of the tools we have on Photoshop, all our primary tools we have on Photoshop. So and you can see they're having like a triangle symbol at the bottom edge, at the bottom right edge. Once you just click and hold, it's going to bring out more options. That is tell that there's like more tools inside these tools. So that's the first thing you need to understand. So our first tool we have here is for like is our move tool, which like we can use to like move things around our page. The next tool we have is like our marquee tool. Inside our marquee tool we have our ellipse tool, elliptical marquee tool. We have our single row marquee tool and blah blah blah. So the next one we have is our lasso tool, the polygon lasso tool, and the magnetic lasso tool. So all these tools are basically used to create selections. And we have our quick selection tool and we have our magic wand tool. So the same thing applies. These tools are just used to create selection. So moving on, we have our crop tool. We have our crop tool, we have our perspective crop tool, we have our slice tool, we have our slice select tool. So me personally, I mostly make use of my crop tool. So you can check out the rest if you feel like. So moving on to our next tool here, we have our eyedropper tool, and what it does is it simply samples color. So once it's active, whichever color you click on your page, you're going to sample that color to your foreground color here. So by the way, let me just quickly explain this to you since we've already started talking about it. So over here, the rectangle by our left hand side over here, it's called our foreground color, while the one at the bottom right hand side is called our background color. So whereby you come over here to your eyedropper tool and you sample a color, you need to sample that color to your foreground color. That is the one by our left hand side, upper left hand side. So let's just move on with our class. Moving on to our next, we have our patch tool. We have our patch. Inside our patch tool, we have like our spots healing brush tool. We have our healing brush tool. We have our patch tool. We have our content aware move tool. We have our red eye tool. So out of everything, I only make use of these first three. So like, and I know that during the course of our during the course of our during the course of this Photoshop tutorial, like we went through some few of them, like our spots healing brush tool and our patch tool, I guess. So like they basically work they basically work the same purpose, but like let's say different style or different method. So that's just it. So moving on to our next tool here, we have our brush tool. So our brush tool, and it's so sad that we weren't able to make use of this our brush tool during the course of our tutorial. So like the best way, like I told you guys at the beginning of the video, the best way for you to learn Photoshop is literally by making use of it. So like I would literally advise you guys to like you should not just stop here, but literally go online, watch the way other people design on Photoshop, learn their process and their method. By that way, you'll be able to like understand Photoshop more better and how to use the tools on Photoshop. So like the we won't be able to like I won't be able to like cover everything like okay I always make it everything because of this because like no like even still yet like this won't be the last tutorial I'm going to watch about Photoshop. Like still go online, like search, download like multiple tutorial and just like learn from different people, different style, different like different teachers, and with that like you'll be able to like understand more, widen your expertise, I guess. So moving on to our next tool here, we have our clone stamp tool and we have our pattern stamp tool, which I don't make use of any of them. Okay. So moving on to our next tool here, we have our history brush tool, we have our art history brush tool. Okay. Moving on, we have our eraser tool, we have our background eraser tool, and we have our magic eraser tool. Okay, so I mostly make use of my eraser tool when I probably want to like erase a particular selection or so, like just the name erase and like literally erase. So moving on to our next tool here, we have our gradient tool and we have our paint bucket tool, we have our 3D material drop tool. So the one I make use of mostly is our gradients and our paint bucket tool. So our gradient tool, like wow, like going into like, let's say okay, we come over here, and by the way, this is a way of creating like a page, a new page. So come over here, file, new, and you can give it for whichever side you want. So I'm not going to click on OK, and then once you create a page, to apply your gradient, just like gradient is more or less transition of like a transition of one color to another, or mixing of two or more colors. That is just a gradient. So over here we have if you look at my gradients here, we have like it's going from a gray to like wine or red by saying. So if something that wants to like change the color, we just come over here to color stop and just double click, and then we can change to like this kind of light blue, and we just click and drag, automatically I'm going to apply that gradient. So you can see the way it's moving from light blue to like a darker shade of blue, then wine. So like it's basically like, I don't know, you guys are going to figure it out like when and how you are going to make use of them. Like it does not mean that you should like all the or you, in a particular design you must like apply all the tools on Photoshop. Like it should that like you as a designer are going to give it like essence. So like it's not a must that you must apply everything. So I just quickly want to scramble through this particular section here and just get along with it and get along with it. So over in the next tool we're going to talk about here is our blur tool. Blur tool, literally like once you're on your blur tool, yeah, scrubbing in a particular area, it's going to make that particular area look blurry, like literally. So sharpen, same thing goes like the opposite of making something blur. Like once you're on your sharpen layer, you scrub through a particular section of a photo, just to make that place more sharp also. And then your smudge tool, which I hardly make use of, but I'm looking into I'm looking at ways to start making use of it. So moving on to we have our dodge and we have our burn tool. Dodge, burn tool. Okay, smudge tool and we have our okay. So moving on, we have our dodge tool. And dodge tool literally like to lighten a particular section of your photo. That's what it does. Lighten a particular section of your photo. Moving down, we have our burn tool, like the opposite, to darken. So sponge tool, I hardly make use of it. So like you guys should look into it yourself. So the next tool we're going to be looking at is our pen tool. And this pen tool, in our next section, I'm going to show you guys how to use this pen tool, because like this is a very important, like we need to talk about it. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to make use of this in our next tutorial. So moving on to our next tool, here we have our text tool. So this is like to apply text to a particular layer, also not even to a particular layer but to our design. So once you're on your text, you just click anywhere on your page and just add in your text, and from Windows character you can like make further adjustments to your text, whether you want to change the color, you want to change the font, and so on and so forth. And if you want to like change the direction at which you are typing from, like you want to type from left to right instead from right to left, all you need to do is just to come in my Photoshop, come over it. All you need to do is come over to your paragraph 2, and just over here just click on this particular button here, and you're going to reset your typing method from left to right. I'll be your typing this thing, whichever, and how you guys get me. So you're going to set the way you're going to type it from left to right instead from right to left. So moving on, we have our path selection tool. So the more you make use of Photoshop, the more you are going to find use for all these tools. And next tool you have here is our shape tool. The next tool we have here is our hand tool, and this can be used to like move our page around when we're zoomed in. Like let's say we're zoomed in, like with this hand tool you can see move like, the shortcut for this is like our space button. You just click on your space button. No matter, you just change to the hand tool. So like this is the shortcut, and you can usually move your page anywhere. So let me just zoom out. So next I'm going to talk about is our zoom tool. So zoom tool, like literally to zoom in and then to zoom out. So Ctrl 0 to fit your page to your screen. So I guess guys, that is it for quickly scrambling through our tools. So like I said, like the best way, and I keep repeating it, I keep repeating this. The best way for you to like make use of Photoshop is by literally using it. Like find design outside, replicate design. You don't even have to be like something out of the box. Like just you seeing a flyer, like you really like, just try taking it to Photoshop and try and recreate it on Photoshop. That is the only way you can get better at Photoshop and using its tools. So with that said, let's come over to this section here. So over here we have our color. So from here we can like, the same thing applies here. Like you can see it. This is also our foreground and our background color. So like I hardly make use of this on my own layout. Here. You can see Erin workstation. Like if I come over here and click on it, like it's going to like change the whole interface. So that's color section I don't usually make use of it, because like it's just literally a way for you to like edit your foreground color. I can see a way of you editing your foreground color. So that is just that. So for here we have our adjustment section here, and these are just literally the like a way of us adding adjustment to a particular adjustment on our design. So like I keep saying that, like the more you make use of this thing, the better. So like we won't be able to like cover. I don't think we'll be able to cover it during the course of this video, because like we're almost getting to the end of the video. So you guys should just keep watching out for more tutorials. So now we have our styles here, and these are just like different layer style. Like bro, there's still more to Photoshop. Like we can't cover everything in this video. So let's just skip that and just come over to our layers panel here. So our layers panel, this is where everything on Photoshop goes down. Like you have to always keep an eye on your layers, make sure that well arranged, well organized, because like a lot of people are not even like, one of the most complicating thing I'll say about Photoshop is like you understanding your layers, because everything on Photoshop is just about you layering them correctly and not making mistake of putting something in a particular layer you're not supposed to do. Like so like so first thing you guys need to understand that we have three kind of layer. Number one kind of layer we have is our rasterized layer. Number two, we have our smart object layer. Number three, we have our text layer. And number four, we have our shape layer. Okay, I mentioned three. I guess we have like four kind of layer. So these four kind of layer have their own attributes. Number one, text layer. Like this is just the, like this is an example of a text layer. It comes with the T thumbnail. So whereby we come over here and like our shapes and create a shape. You can see that its own layer is going to be different from our text layer. You can see it different. And whenever we just come over here to create a new layer, so automatically Photoshop is going to create a rasterized layer. This is just like a default layer on Photoshop, a rasterized layer. So that's like the third one now. And over here, when we right click and we do what, convert to smart objects, it's going to convert to a smart object layer. So this smart object, more or less Photoshop like retaining the quality of whatever you're going to be putting inside that particular layer. You need to try as much as possible to retain the quality of whatever object that is going to be inside that layer. So I guess that is the whole four kind of layer I've explained in a nutshell. So the way the layer work is like literally, obviously, you work in an hierarchy format. Like whichever particular layer is on top is going to be literally on top. It's going to be more visible. It's going to be, if you stack an object, if you stack the content of the layer like on top of each other, like let's say, okay, let me just control J this, and like this one below here, let me just double click on my layer thumbnail to double click on my shape layer thumbnail to like change the color. Maybe like you can see, let me just turn off my background so you guys can see it better. So as you can see, why is our wine above our build cycle? That's because of on our layer here is literally above it. So like there's nothing you and Photoshop can do. except to literally bring down the white circle below the blue layer. So like this same thing applies to whatever you're going to design it. Like whereby you want your picture to be on top of your typography, like you have to make sure that it's well arranged on your layer. If your typography is below your picture on your layer, like it's literally going to appear behind your picture. So like everything is just all about layering. So with that said guys, like I think I'm going to call this section a day. So I'm going to still be releasing more tutorial about Photoshop, the way I make use of Photoshop. Like this is more or less like a scramble of everything. So guys, watch out for the next section where I'm going to be talking about the pen tool. Welcome guys to the final section of our Photoshop tutorial. If you made it to this final part, like congratulations, because I know most of you guys would have literally skipped at the beginning of the video. So like I want to first and thank you all for staying with me to the end of this tutorial. So without no further ado, like let's get to the reason why we're here. So for this final tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make use of your pen tool, which is like one of the most important tool on Photoshop, or like I would say on which is like the most common tool in all graphic designing software, especially in Adobe suites. Like even in Premiere Pro we have like our pen tool, on After Effects we have a pen tool there. Like literally like this particular tool is something that you're going to meet 80% of your time in whichever graphic design software you're using, even on CorelDRAW itself. Like it's always constant. So on Photoshop it's slightly different from the way it works on CorelDRAW, but like down a little bit similar, kind of. So for this particular tutorial, we'll come over to our tutorial folder, and let me just quickly locate that, and then I'll just move in this picture into our Photoshop. So Control 0 to fit our page to our screen, and then we'll come over to our pen tool. So one of the main purpose I use my pen tool is like because of like it enables me to like make more precise selection. So I mostly use it for creating selection. So there are still a lot of things for you to there are still a lot of things you can use pencil to create, like shapes, different kind of thing. But me mostly I mostly use it for creating selection. So and how does this pencil work? Let me just show you like a beginner's guide. So like let's say you want to create a straight line. Just click and then click, 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 click. As if you were just making a normal straight line. But let's say you want to make a curve. You just have to click, then you drag to create a curve. And now, because of we've created a curve, the next point I want to be creating is going to come as a curve. But if in an instant we don't want it to come as a curve, all we need to do is to put down our shift and then we click on the our last point here called the anchor point. Then you just click and you see that if we hold down our shift and on that point it's going to change to like a V, just like Photoshop indicates that okay, we want to break this point from a curve to like a straight line. So we hold down our shift and we click, see that literally broke that point. And now when we click next, it's going to come as a straight line. And whereby we click and drag and want to like make further adjustment to that curve we created, you can hold down our shift alt, sorry, not shift, alt, and then we can use it to like stretch that particular curve, edit that particular curve we just created. Same thing goes to this point here, we can like manually edit that curve on our alt side. And whereby I want to move a point, we hold down our control and then we can literally move a point. While holding down our alt, we can like even turn a point into a curve. That's what I did here, holding my alt. Let's say okay, with this particular sharp edge here, I want to make it a curve. So what I have to hold my alt down and automatically like it's going to turn that into a curved line, from a straight line to a curved line. So like that is just the principle of making use of this thing append to. Wherever you want to like delete a particular point, all you need to do is just to go over to the point and you see that it's having like a minus sign beside it. That is Photoshop telling us that okay, we can delete this point. And whenever I click, I see what I did there. It automatically deleted that point. Whenever I want to add a point, all you have to do is just go to a particular section that there is no point, and then just click. Automatically Photoshop going to add a point, and then you can hold our control to like move the points. And can hold our alt to make that point, to make that curve, sorry, like a straight line. So like you guys should not bother like trying to cram everything in this particular tutorial. Like I keep saying earlier, the more you make use of it, the more you understand. So to make this, so like this now, we've created a part. You can see this line, they're called a part. But now we cannot make use of this, we cannot use this part to do anything. Number one, they're not even closed. So first thing first, we have to close this part. So I'm not going to come over here to like continue my selection. Let me just close my selection here. So like I started just by me going round and now coming to my starting point. It's going to change to like the that's zero this thing that we saw in our last tutorial when we're making use of it previously. So like telling us that Photoshop telling us to like close that particular part. So we have to close it now. And to turn this particular part to a selection, we have to press Ctrl Enter. Automatically it's going to turn that particular part into a selection. I don't know if you guys understand me. So like the more you make use of this thing, you should not don't try to cram it, but just understand and just try and replicate what I'm doing here. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be using my pencil to remove Nima from the background. So all our first things first is to unlock the layer, double click that we'll be making use of previously, and then it's time to make use of our pencil. So like just follow along guys. I'm going to leave this particular file on our tutorial folder. So just click, then just like drag, like make a curve. Then on my alt, break it. Then come over here, make a curve. On my alt, break it. Come over here, alt, break it. Come over here, let's break it. Then just come over here, make a curve. Alt, break it. Come over here, make a curve. Alt, break it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Then come over here, alt, break it. Come over here, alt, break it. So I'm probably going to speed up this process. Come over here, alt, break it. Come over here, alt, break it. So like alt, break it. Come over here, alt, break it. All I'm doing is I'm just clicking and drag to like create that curve. Now on my control here to like move the points closer to the hair. Then on my alt here to like adjust this point, bring down my alt. You can see. Then on my alt to break the point. Then click and drag to create that curve. Move, bring down my space bar, and I will make it up previously. So created this point like this. Then I on my alt, come over to this point here and create a curve on my space to move. Then bring that particular point and come over here, click, drag. On my alt, break this. Then I just come over here. On my alt, break this. Come over here. On my alt, break this. And come over here. On my alt, break this. And come over here. On my alt, break this. And come over here. I'm just clicking and dragging. So So click, drag, like just creating that part, break, break, alt, break it, alt, break it. Now come over here, click, drag, alt, break it. Come over here, click, drag, alt, break it. Now zoom out. I can see we created our part. So one way to do that from here, I guess I'm going to speed up this tutorial more. One of the reasons why I make use of my pencil because of I want to like create a selection of a busy background of an object that is in a busy background. Like these are your pencil skills come in handy. So like the best way for you to usually make use of get better at this pencil is like practicing. Like I'm not expecting you, don't rush yourself in getting as good as me at the beginning of your pencil journey. Like you just have to take your time and try as much as possible to make use of it in everything you are doing. Like as a starter. Well, but there are still like other tools for you to like use when it comes to like creating selection. Like our lasso tool, our magnetical lasso tool, but all these particular tools are not going to give you like a perfect selection because you are not going to be in control of it. It won't give you like as it won't give you the control the way your pencil is going to give you. So let's zoom out and take a look at our selection. Let's continue. So the same principle I showed you guys, the same principle I'm making use of. So I've come to the end. All you have to do is just close it. That's it guys, we've created a part around our subject. So to turn this part into a selection, all I have to do is to press Ctrl Enter, and now we've created a selection around our subject. So to remove this, to remove our subject out from the background, all I have to do is to press R, or to remove the background is to press R, invert the selection, because like this now our subject is selected. If you click on delete, it's going to delete our subject, but that is not what we want. We want to delete the background, not the subject. So we have to invert the selection, that is opposite. So and how do we invert on Photoshop? Is holding your Ctrl Shift I to invert a selection, or you come via to your select, then inverse, Shift Ctrl I. So the same thing. Click on it and you're going to invert that selection now. When you click on that, delete, you're going to delete the background and to deselect, Ctrl D. And then we can come over here to adjustment layer, solid color, and give it like a different color, and then put it behind you. As you can see guys, it's not a perfect selection, but like for this, even from afar it's still looking okay. So with these guys, like with this and consistent practices, I know you guys will be able to get better at making use of this your pen tool. Like it's just about you practicing it literally. So with these guys, I'm going to call this the end of this video. Like if you're enjoying this tutorial, you can leave a comment down below and tell me what particular tool you just really learned in this tutorial, and see you guys later.